All right, the deadliest food in the world. I love this channel, bro. It's fire.
Let's start with the dangerous and slowly work our way towards the deadliest ones on the list. Number 5, casu marzu. Casu marzu translates
It's that Italian cheese where they eat it with the maggots and shit, bro.
to rotten cheese in Sardinian and is known as the most dangerous cheese in the world. This is a cheese that is traditionally made using sheep's milk and is commonly produced on the island of Sardinia, Italy. Even though it's illegal to sell, the high demand for this delicacy incentivizes local farmers to keep producing it, creating a massive black market that is estimated to bring in around 2.5 million pounds, or around $3 million annually.
We got guns.
Yo,
No,
We got drugs.
no.
Fresh kidneys.
fresh kidneys.
And we have cheese.
Yeah, I'll just go with the cheese. The reason this cheese is so dangerous is simply because of the way that it is made, which first starts with the wheel of pecorino cheese. It is then introduced to cheese flies, where they will begin to lay their eggs.
It's so disgusting. I will never understand like who thought of doing this. This is so nasty, bro.
Inside it, and in a matter of hours to a few days, these eggs become larvae, and around the 40th day the cheese is completely infested with flies and thousands of maggots. For the next 2 to 3 months, the maggots are
Shit's so nasty.
left to gorge themselves with the cheese so they can, well, poop it back out. And that's the magical ingredient here, since the poop gives the cheese its sought after flavor and texture. And honestly, the texture does look amazing.
That's so disgusting, bro. Like, why would you even like? I don't even care if it's a delicacy. I don't even care if I'm being disrespectful to people on that island. That's disgusting. I don't give. That's nasty as.
I'll give them that. But when it's time to consume the rotten cheese, expect to get around a dozen maggots with every single bite.
Literally maggots. You're eating maggots, bro. You're eating maggots, bro. You're eating spoiled cheese with maggots in it, bro. Fly babies. You're eating baby fly. It's disgusting.
Since they are never removed, scientists and health officials have warned that there's always a possibility that the larvae could survive a person's stomach acid and make their way into the intestines, a condition called pseudomyiasis, where the person's intestines become completely infested with maggots, surviving by consuming the person instead, successfully pulling off the sneakiest Uno reverse card. Even though this condition is rare, I don't think I would be willing to risk it all for a taste of this deliciously textured cheese.
Like, it's like what was going on? Like, were they had to be like starving, right? They had the cheese and they saw that happened to it, and they were like, you know what, this is the last thing I got left, let me eat this. And they were like, this is good, bro. Like, I wouldn't even go near it. I wouldn't even touch the cheese, bro. I wouldn't even touch it, bro.
Cheese. Well, maybe just one bite.
Ooh.
Number 4, larb. Larb is a type of salad that consists of greens, spices, sticky rice, and a choice of meat.
Okay.
This dish originated in South Asia in Laos and is a very popular dish there, even becoming its national dish. At first glance, this would definitely be something I would consider ordering while on vacation, if I ever took any. Now here's the thing, even though this dish looks delicious, it can quickly become deadly, since this meal is oftentimes served with raw meat. There are many types of meat that can be used for this dish.
Raw beef is not, beef tartare is not, you know what I'm saying? People be eating raw beef.
But the most common ones include beef, chicken.
You don't eat raw chicken though, bruh.
Duck, fish,
you don't eat raw
and
birds.
Pork. And eating this meal
only raw beef
drastically increases the odds of you
raw beef or raw fish. That's it, bro.
Contracting a dangerous and potentially fatal disease from trichinosis, fatal bacterias, rabies, streptococcus suis.
What the is this drawing? Ew.
Which is a deadly bacteria that is commonly found in pigs. And Southeast Asian liver fluke, a parasitical flatworm found in uncooked fish, which once consumed, the worm can live inside the human liver for many years.
Ew.
Where you can rest easy knowing that you'll never truly be alone. There have been many cases throughout the years where this meal has directly led to human fatalities, like in 2019 in Thailand, where a total of 265 people contracted streptococcus suis after consuming lard,
is crazy.
And sadly, 23 of those people would end up losing their lives. Number 3, sanakji. In Korea,
What?
sannakji could be enjoyed multiple different ways, but let's cover the least deadly one first and the most common. Sannakji is a raw dish consisting of the long arm octopus, which is killed just moments before it's to be served.
Look at the octopus face.
Here, the octopus's body and legs are chopped into pieces and drizzled with sesame oil. And by the time this makes it onto your plate, the legs will still be moving. As you begin to eat, the octopus's suckers will begin to suction onto your tongue and throat, making it difficult to swallow. But I know that if I ever came face to face with this meal, I would have no choice but to totally crush.
Bro, if you swallow a leg and it suctions on the inside of your throat, what are you gonna do? Octopus is good, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Octopus is fire. Calamari, bro, is that squid, whatever it is, that shit is delicious, bro.
Since I have talked way too much of a big game, watching people struggle as they eat disgusting foods on the challenge. No, I'm telling you, you just have to plug your nose and just power through it.
Your raw is very questionable.
Sure.
Oh my god, just chase it with the water. He's wasting so much time.
Yeah.
So I have a lot to prove. Now, the second method, on the other hand, is much more challenging and poses a much greater risk of death. And honestly, it's more of a one-on-one fight rather than an actual meal. Here, the octopus reaches your plate fully intact and alive, where it is then tightly wrapped around a chopstick, dipped in sesame oil, and shoved into your mouth. But who are they kidding? The sesame oil is not meant to enhance the meal. It is simply used to rig the fight in the cheating human's favor, as it will now serve as a lubricant.
Just
And as soon as
slide
the
down your
1v1
throat.
starts, the octopus begins to attack, squirming to find its way out, frantically suctioning on to whatever it can get a hold of. But if you're the human, you must completely focus on your chewing. Soon your hands begin to get sweaty, and within seconds, you begin to break out into a mental panic, questioning yourself, thinking that this might have been a mistake. With your heart beginning to race,
Like, how do you just take an entire octopus and just put it in your mouth, bro? You just put a live octopus in your mouth, bro. How do you do that, bro? How do you do that? Knowing damn well, even if there's no risk of me dying or choking on it, bro, the fact that I'm gonna feel it squirming around in my mouth is enough for me to not want to eat it, bro.
you try and cover up your fear by chewing harder and faster. And you have now convinced yourself that it's now or never. It's time to attempt the swallow. But there's a problem. The octopus is still moving. The stares of everyone at the table are piercing, and you feel the ever-growing peer pressure accumulating. So you're forced to go for it, praying to whatever god is listening that the octopus doesn't latch itself onto your throat as you try and swallow it, as that would surely be a death sentence. You force the ball of squirming octopus down your throat, and for a second, your heart stops. But you manage to swallow it, with your heart still racing and a bead of sweat coming down.
Bro, like, what if the octopus is just gonna drown in your stomach acid, bro? What if it, like, you're not gonna feel it squirming around in your stomach like you're pregnant, bro?
On the back of your neck. You look over at your
But I have
buddy and
died from it, Star
say,
Daddy.
it's not so bad. You got it. As you get up to go clean
Himself.
yourself up in the bathroom. There have been multiple deaths in the last few years directly linked to eating live octopus. Even though the danger is obvious, people still search out this delicacy, with some athletes even claiming that this meal increases a person's endurance, but others simply do it for the experience
I'm not doing that,
that
bro.
they will get when they show off the post
But
online.
the thing is, when you eat it, the whole thing like that, you're eating the organs, you're eating the brain, you're eating the eyeballs, the bones. Ugh.
Number 2, fugu.
Why else?
This is one of the deadliest foods in the world, where a single mistake in the preparation could
organs,
mean
bro.
life or death. Fugu is a popular dish that originated in Japan in the early 20th century, but as time has gone on, the dish's popularity has only grown, spreading to many countries like China and South Korea.
I don't-
This is a meal that consists of a poisonous pufferfish that has had the poison carefully removed from it. Well,
Oh, I heard of this. Yeah, pufferfish are venomous as hell.
at least that's what
poisonous,
should
whatever.
be done, but more on that later. In countries like Japan, a chef must go through long and rigorous training to learn how to properly remove the poison from the meat. The training takes up to 3 years to complete, followed by a string of exams which include a written test, fish identification test, a practical
Bro, what the fish is this?
exams which include a written test, fish
What is this? Ew!
identification test, a
Deformed
practical
fetus.
test, and of course, successfully preparing the dish. This test is so difficult that only 35% of all applicants end up passing it and acquiring the license. The reason the pufferfish is so dangerous is because it contains a poison called tetrodotoxin, which is one of the world's most deadliest poisons. A single pufferfish has enough poison to kill 30 adult
30 men is crazy, bro.
humans. Now, here's the terrifying part. If someone happens to be so unlucky that they end up consuming even a small amount of the poison,
GG's.
they will be presented with a prayer and a splash of holy water. Since there is no known antidote, the poison kicks in shortly after eating it, with your muscles becoming completely paralyzed, and eventually it could cause you to stop breathing. And this is
I would do
probably
it,
when
though.
you would start to think to yourself, damn, I should have just gone with the chicken dumplings.
Okay.
The deadliest year ever recorded was in 1958, when 176
100. If I heard 2 people die from eating something recently, I'm not eating that for at least like a year. Like, if you know, like, I'm not eating that for a long time, bro. And if it's something that is always gonna be like poisonous, like a fish like this, I'm never eating it, bro.
people lost their lives to this food alone.
Now I would eat that dark drip. Jared, do you see me? You see how I'm built, chat? Come on. Y'all see me, bro? Y'all see? Come on, chat. Like, the pufferfish poison gonna be in me. I'm gonna just be like, ouch. And I'm good, you know what I'm saying? That's me though.
Today in Japan, the odds of you dying from fugu are very, very slim.
That's just me.
As long as you order from a licensed restaurant. Since most deaths in recent history have come from people who attempted to prepare the dish at home. But sometimes pure evil and selfishness increase the death rate even higher. Like in 2004, when fish vendors in Thailand tricked people for
Gotta hold
3
your nose.
years by dyeing the pufferfish meat red and telling buyers that the meat they were selling was
What the
salmon. 115 people needing
Oh
to
my
be
God.
hospitalized, and 15 of them sadly
You
losing
that
their
desperate
lives.
for money, bro?
Number 1, wild and exotic wet markets. Now, of course, this had to be
wet
number
markets
1
are
on the list,
nasty.
since a
Wet markets, bro, they just have a bunch of different animals in cages and shit. Just let them run wild and they just do whatever the they want and then they eat them. But like, they contaminate each other, they shit on each other, they sit there, they just grow mold and they ugh.
single meal from one of these wet markets carries the greatest risk to human health.
So nasty,
this is one
bro.
of the rare instances where a
That's what look at the fucking bat's face. That's evil as fuck.
single meal consumed by an individual
cap, bro.
doesn't just affect
That's
the
how it
person
started.
eating it. It could potentially affect every person on the planet. Now, I know what you're thinking. What
up,
could
pancakes?
possibly be so delicious that it's worth putting the entire world's population in jeopardy?
Nothing.
Brownies.
Oh, okay.
The answer is brownies.
I had brownies before stream actually.
But as far as wet markets
It's
go,
my mom's birthday
yeah,
today.
I don't think snakes, turtles, dogs, cats, bats, my nephew, porcupines, or
Nephew?
raccoons would be a justifiable answer. And it seems like every few years, without fail, the world gets a massive scare when a deadly disease breaks out. And of course, they always seem to be
They said COVID came from a wet market, bro. From a wet market.
traced back to one of these wet markets. Remember the SARS outbreak of 2002? Me neither. But it's widely believed by epidemiologists and public health officials that this outbreak originated from a wet market in the Guangdong province of China. What about the Ebola outbreak of 2014? Remember how
What, in
terrified
Africa?
everyone was to even let out a cough, as you would forever be known as the person with Ebola. The origins of
That's scary as fuck, bro. The Ebola outbreak, bro. I was scared someone was gonna come to school with Ebola, bro.
the 2014 Ebola outbreak was traced to a small child whose family regularly
Fed him the bat. Imagine you go to eat and this looks like that. Evil bat, bro.
hunted and consumed the bats. Sure, this wasn't a wet market,
Wanna
but
make
it
them my
easily
wallpaper,
could have
bro.
been. And last but not least, as we all know, the recent pandemic
Hold on, I gotta make that my wallpaper chat. Hold on.
regularly hunted. The 2014 Ebola outbreak was traced to a small child whose family regularly hunted and consumed the bats. Sure, this wasn't a wet market, but it easily could have been. And last but not least, as we all know, the recent pandemic we just had dated in China from a bat in the Wuhan wet market. These are just a few of the diseases that have caused a massive scare in recent times. But here are some other diseases that are known to be present in these wild and exotic wet markets.
crazy,
The
bro.
reason these wet markets pose such a hazard to humans is largely on the fact that almost all the meat will be cross-contaminated by the time it's
No
sold.
cat, bro. Gross.
Sanitary is not really of the utmost importance. This, included with the close proximity of wild animals, makes it easy for diseases from animals to infect humans. And the hot and humid conditions in a lot of these markets make it a perfect place for the growth of bacteria and spread of disease. Or
Gross,
possibly
bruh.
something even worse.
That'd be a video, bruh.